All right, guys, so today we're headed out to take a look at a couple jobs. So yeah, we're gonna make the rounds and see how everything's looking. Hi guys, so if you remember now, this is that deck that we looked at a little while ago. Yeah, they had a bunch of dry, rotten water damage. The deck before was leaking real bad. Kind of went through the decking surface and rotted out the deck joists and structural members of the deck. Now it looks absolutely gorgeous. So let's go take a look and see how it turned out. Okay, so as you can see here, this big, what they call a structural header, had to be replaced because it was all rotted out. And these trellis rafters, you can see they're decorative, they had to be replaced as well. So dry rot and water damage was coming down. It was actually coming through the wall here. And it actually intercepted and ruined the waterproofing and the flashing that was tying basically the deck up into the wall. So that connection, that overlap, was breached, and over time it just caused the underlayment of the deck to collect water and rot out. So you can see the ocean's right there. When we get storms, you know, this deck is like prime exposure as far as like weather and rain, wind. And so the goal here was to make sure that not only we repaired everything and fixed it, but while in the process of doing so, we put steps in place to make sure that this didn't happen again. This is a notorious area for a breach and control, but you can hear there's metal, these custom metal that was fabricated and interwoven into the framing of the house itself. So we actually took this door frame out, had a custom door sill, door pan made, integrated with the decking waterproofing, which is underneath the tile itself, and then put the door back. So this tile, a lot of clients and people don't realize, but the tile itself is not a waterproofing method, right? It's really important to know that, realize that the tile itself is not protecting the deck framing at all. It's just decorative in nature. So you want to make sure that the underlayment underneath. This turned out nice. We've had these iron rails. The homeowner was in love with these existing railing to begin with and had everything powder coated and redone. It turned out great. This is the upper deck. Downstairs is a lower deck. We'll go through and basically show you how we did that one. All right, as you can see down here, this section, we did some decorative, basically big faux support beams. These are actually anchored and screwed up into the existing framing itself. So there's a huge steel beam that runs through here to basically carry the cantilevered load of that upper deck, right? Because if you notice, we've got a post in the corner there, right, which is holding up that corner. We've got another post here, which is holding up this intermittent corner, but there's nothing here, okay? So in order to achieve this structural aesthetic, we had to run a structural beam basically that ran from there all the way over and cantilevered over. These beams are basically faux in nature, artificial, so we attached them. And here we did really cool, the homeowner came up with a really cool custom bucket saddle. Kind of gives it a rustic, grad look with the house, given, you know, kind of ties in with the age of the house. And so that was kind of a fun project to work with the homeowner on. But yeah, basically look at, I mean, it just turned out great. So all of this was redone and integrated new decking, waterproofing underlayment, new custom sheet metal flashing pans, new decking substrate, and then the tile overlay. So now the homeowners are able to enjoy the space once more. So turned out awesome, I'm so happy. So here you can see, we also repaired these two decks. These are a little bit different. They're more balconies than decks, I would call them, but same idea. As a result of the water damage here, what we had to do is these joists, as you can tell, there's no post on either side to support the cantilever decks. The support of the deck itself runs into the house. They call that cantilever decking. In order to successfully remove and replace those deck joists that were damaged, we had to go back into the house, pull the flooring back, remove the subfloor underlayment, and then sister on or repair the joist that ran all the way back out. So they call that cantilever decking. We did that here. We made the repairs, and then we put everything back. You can see custom copper edge metal. We're so close to the water here, the ocean. So copper is really the recommended type of metal that you would want to use here. You can see we achieved a very, very smooth stucco finish. Both of these decks had to be redone. So unfortunately, sometimes given the age of the house or whether or not the decks were installed properly, over time, you're gonna have water damage and problems. On to the next one. So we just pulled up to our Granada job. Last time we were here, if you remember, it was a little while ago. We were in the process of working on finishing touches. Now we're gonna check on everything. I heard all the finished cabinetry underneath the stairs is all in, fireplace, kitchen, and bathroom. So go in and take a look and see how it's going. All right, this is awesome. All this downstairs flooring, which is absolutely gorgeous, was not in. And so now we've got our flooring and we've got our custom understair unit. We had a challenge, right? We had some framing in here that was holding up the stair landing that had to remain. And the challenge was to incorporate that into the design of the custom built-in. And I think the guys did a great job. They nailed it. These doors open up. This is such a practical, awesome way to take advantage of the space that is under a lot of staircases. You know, a lot of times builders, they just kind of frame over it and drywall over it, and there you go, it's done, and you don't get to use the space. But homeowner had a really creative idea to go underneath. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let's go upstairs and take a look at how upstairs turned out. Here we're upstairs now. This space was originally just an empty void, and we added these new cabinet built-ins and then a custom countertop to match the kitchen. So if you remember in previous episodes, we had a difference in wall elevation, right? So this wall originally was shorter than this elevation here. And so the object was to bring this out, this wall cavity out, so that it lined up with this wall, so that when we went to install the new cabinetry and countertop, it felt like a custom built-in. And so I think we did an excellent job nailing this. As we pan over the fireplace, it was just, the fireplace unit had just been installed, right? So homeowner picked out this awesome, like slate gray tile, and they're big pieces. I think these are 18 by 48 inch pieces. We're gonna come back and install a nice decorative mantle, install it onto this tile, and then essentially we're ready for this space to be enjoyed. Then we have the kitchen, right? So we come into this beautiful kitchen. Last time we were here, I think we had boxes in, cabinet boxes. We talked about installing countertops and backsplash and, you know, appliances, etc., but we're there. We've got our custom quartz fabricated countertop with a nice 2 1/4 inch mitered edge that runs all the way through with no seam until we get to right here, a nice strategically placed seam there. And then we have one custom slab piece. Total, just 2 slabs, right? You want to try to minimize as many seam lines as you possibly can, just because it doesn't look right. And then these are what they call panel-ready appliances. They come out from the manufacturer like this, and so our job now is to basically build a custom panel that matches this door profile and finish. So they call these panel-ready appliances, and it looks like it's a piece of cabinetry versus a refrigerator. So here you can see we did this nice cool rad built-in storage area. Here's the microwave, ta-da, it's hiding. We got some nice custom pull-out drawers. And then we've got our wine fridge, right? Again, panel-ready wine fridge. I love how we integrated some glass up into these upper shelves. We wanted to add some character up there, so we did that given the height and everything. But I mean, all in all, look at how beautiful this place turned out. I'm really happy with that. This is epic. Let's go look at the bathroom. So in here, we had walls that were just scratched and brown, right? So they were ready for tile. Now the tile's in, and you can see it's this gorgeous, like faux wood looking ceramic tile, and it's just absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm so stoked on it. You can see the pieces come in just over 36 inches wide, but not big enough to where it fills up a whole piece. So we did a nice, very symmetrical grout line on either side. Ran it all the way up to the ceiling, which is just beautiful. We got our shower niche in here, which Ben framed for us. A nice custom Schluter edge metal. It's a very clean, nice way. You can see down here, we went with a different tile that matches the floor. So we've got floor tile and basically wraps up and onto the face of the tub. So it kind of creates a nice custom look, but I'm so pleased with how this turned out. It really turned out good. It's a nice space. The piece that we're missing here is shower glass enclosure, which is on order. So once we get that in, we'll install it. And yeah, I'm happy how it turned out, guys. If you think this was helpful or you enjoyed this in any way, please comment in the section below. We'd love to hear your feedback and let us know how we're doing. Thanks.